Okay, I saw it. Okay, could you make a bigger one? It's too small one.
It's not.
Yeah, it's okay, but large scale.
Ziv, do you see my? Can you tell me what I'm doing wrong? Why can't you see it?
We're just seeing the not in presentation mode. We're seeing the PowerPoint screen. Are you sharing now? Are you? Yeah. Now it's the presenter screen.
Okay.
So probably the other one.
You have to change the screen.
No.
Yeah, that's okay.
Now you're good.
Okay. Now you're good. As a
okay,
part,
great.
It's a very small one.
Okay, great. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to present to you guys. So today the agenda will be focused on our Safety 4.0 platform. The format will be a quick 15 to 20 minute presentation on slides. And then after that, I will, of course, with Mr. Hanku translating. And then after that, I'll hand over to Ziv. Ziv will be doing a general overview demo of our platform, showing you how the platform looks, how it works, and some of our key modules that we have. And then after that, again, we'll give some time for Mr. Hanku to translate, and then we can have Q&A and we can close the session. So that's how we have planned the session today. So thanks again. My name is Raj. I'm managing sales. I'm seated in Singapore. So GoArc is what we are trying to talk about now is Safety 4.0. I mean, we are in the age of Industry 4.0. We're probably moving to Industry 5.0, but we want to focus on the safety side of things. We want to enable the connected worker and of course, prescriptive safety. And prescriptive safety, we are doing it by using AI and machine learning. A bit about the company. As you can see, we started in 2015. We are an Israeli company. R&D center is headquartered in Tel Aviv, and then we have at the moment about 60 plus full-time employees all over the world. At the moment, 130,000 users of our platform. Later, I'll show you the companies that are using our platform at the moment, and they are spread over 100 locations, and at the moment, 15 languages. Adding languages is no problem. Within 2 weeks, we can add any new language to our platform.
Just a second, I will briefly explain about your company. So 이 고학이라는 회사는 2015년도에 설립된 스타트업 기업으로 지금 텔레비브에 있습니다. 직원들은 지금 현재 한 60명이 되는데 2015년도에 스타트업이 해서 지금까지 전 세계적으로 13만 유저가 사용을 하고 100개국 이상에서 사용되는 상당히 100개의 로케이션에서 사용하고 있는 급성장하고 있는 회사입니다. 이 회사의 솔루션이 나와서 대부분 이제 앞에 설명을 드렸지만 인더스트리 4.0이라는 것은 이 작업자 중심으로 어떠한 회사에 있는 안전 정보를 쉽게 주고 또 그 작업자의 안전을 모니터링을 하느냐 하는 포커스에 맞춰서 일을 하기 때문에 전 세계적으로 이제 셀룰러폰이나 모바일 디바이스를 이용해서 15개 언어로 번역돼서 지금 현재 활용을 하고 있습니다. 아직은 한국에서는 그 납품 실적이 없어서 이제 시작을 하고 있지만 언제든지 프로젝트가 진행하면 모든 셀룰러폰에 나타나는 대화의 내용도 한국어로 번역을 해서 우리 직원들이 쉽게 우리나라 사람들이 쉽게 보고 활동할 수 있도록 저희들이 구축해 나갈 계획입니다. 이 세이프티 4.0은 그 전 세계적으로 독일에서 추진하는 인더스트리 4.0을 기반으로 해서 모든 생산 현장의 정보를 연결해서 작업자 중심으로 맞춤형 정보를 주는 시스템이다 이렇게 보시면 됩니다. Next one, please.
Okay, so like I said earlier, currently the focus is on Industry 4.0. And what Industry 4.0, what does it mean? It means looking at interconnectivity, automation, machine learning, real-time data, predictive and prescriptive analytics. And this is focused on mostly equipment. We move from unplanned maintenance to predictive and predictive maintenance, because we want to ensure that your equipment is sustained, the lifespan is sustained. You want to look at life extension. There's no shutdown of equipment, so that your operations are ongoing without disruption. So in GoArc, what we are doing is we are using the same principles, but applying. We are using the same principles and applying it to the human side of things. So how do you keep your worker safe? Like I said, the focus is how do you keep your equipment safe? The same way, how do you keep your worker safe? By giving them all this information using the same thing: interconnectivity, automation, machine learning, real-time data, and ensure that they are able to have situational awareness, what's going around all activities that are going on around them in real time, and then change their behavior to make sure that their actions are safe.
Okay.
Yep.
A second.
Sure.
인더 4.0은 엔지니어 세이프티 측면에서 본다 그러면 결국은 이제 인더 4.0이라는 거는 상호 연결성, 자동화와 머신러닝, 또 모든 정보를 실시간으로 데이터를 주고받으면서 예지정비하고 예측 모니터링, 미리 예측을 해서 선제적으로 대응을 할 수 있는, 작업자가 현장에서 작업을 할 때 현재 있는 위치에서 어떤 주변에 있는 설비들과 주변에 있는 환경에 적합하도록 다이내믹하게 작업자의 위치에 따라서 그 작업자에 적합한 안전 정보를 제공함으로 해서 그 기업이 셧다운 없이 지속적으로 성장할 수 있도록 안전을 최우선으로 하는 그런 모바일리티 시스템을 가지고 제공을 하는데, 이 핵심의 키워드는 이제 커넥티드 워커다. 그래서 이제 작업자와 설비와 작업자와 안전관리 통제센터 이런 부분들을 함께 전체적으로 연결돼서 맞춤형 정보 제공을 하는 것이 이제 세이프티 커넥티드 워커의 핵심입니다. Next, please.
So this is our value proposition. When it comes to our normal work practices, when we look at safety, when we look at operational excellence, a lot of things are based on compliance. But where GoArc wants to operate is before an incident happens. Compliance is after an incident happens. You do root cause analysis, and then do investigation, and then say, okay, these are all the things that we should not have done, and in future, let's make sure these actions are taken. So that is compliance after an incident. Where GoArc is coming is before the incident. We want to give everybody real-time information to tell you these are all the potential hazards or unsafe practices that is going on in your operations, in your refinery, in your factory, and you have to take actions beforehand so that to prevent that incident from happening. So how do we do that? So if you look on the left-hand side, we firstly connect to all your existing ERP systems. A lot of you may have historians, OSI, PI, IP21. We'll connect to those. All your OT systems, all your sensors that are on your equipment. IoT is Internet of People. So all the smart devices that your workers are carrying, we can connect to that as long as they're connected to the network. IoT devices, of course, all your smart equipment that are put out, your CCTV cameras to observe unsafe practices and all that. We can collect all those data in real time, and then we analyze it in the middle. So in the middle, once all this information is put on our platform, we are, for example, able to identify environmental risks. So for a good example will be weather information. So if, for example, it's bad weather, you have lightning risk, and then at the same time you are approving a permit to work at height, exposed work at height. By right, it should not take place because there's a lightning risk. So the platform will be able to warn you, look, this permit should not happen at this time because of this possible risk. Location risk, you may have multiple permits, more than one permit happening at the same place. This could be a hazard. for the workers, because it may be conflicting permits, hot works and paint work. It's a fire hazard, should not happen. At the same time, maybe other people have identified a hazard already existing there. So when you issue a permit to work in that area, that is also an unsafe area to work at. So again, that will be highlighted. Machine risks. So let's say equipment that needs to be maintained you have passed maintenance date, so it's not safe to be used. So if a worker is going to sign out that equipment for use or work in an area where that maybe a pump is there, which needs to be maintained, it's failing, that is also a risk that the platform will identify before work can continue. Worker risk. So like I said, we connect to ERP, so we can connect to SAP for training data to see if this particular worker has the right skills, his training is up to date, whether he has the right license to do this particular job. If he doesn't have it, put a stop before it happens. Activity. So, some activities, is the worker wearing the right PPE? Has he gotten the right approvals from the domain experts, the subject matter experts? That can also be checked. And then material risk. I mean, if you are handling hazardous and toxic materials, there are a lot of pre-work checks that need to be done, whether all these are done. And then all this information is analyzed in real time and then passed on to the people on the right. In the past, all this was in silos. So the HSE people will just manage hazards, incidents, maintenance may do, or contractor management may handle permit to work. So there's no real interaction. Now with everything on the same platform, everybody gets to see every information, which makes it safer for every worker on the field. And at the same time, like I said, everybody on the right is informed, not just the EHS team, not just the ops team. We can even go up to C-level, because your C-level will also want to know what's the status of my operations right now. Is it safe? Is it in the green zone, orange zone, or red zone? And all this information, like I said in the beginning, we do it before something happens. Okay, right? Because once something happens and you do it, it's already too late. Mr. Anku?
Yep. 간단히 설명을 드리면 이 고학의 유일한 기능은 생산 현장, 작업자의 위치에 있는 현재의 위치에서 그 회사에 갖고 있는 ERP 정보, IT 시스템 정보, 또 그 당시 오퍼레이션 테크놀로지 쪽에 있는 그 당시 생산 현장에서 PLC에서 측정되는 정보, 또는 거기에 IoT 센서를 이용해서 사람의 작업자의 위치를 측정한다든가, 또는 CCTV 카메라 등 생산 현장에 있는 모든 정보와 그 회사에 가지고 있는 모든 시스템에 관련돼서 그 작업자의 위치에 맞는 정보들을 추출해서 그 작업자가 생산 현장에서 작업을 할 때에 그 작업자의 행동에 관련된 리스크가 있을 것이고, 그 작업자 주변에 관련된 이동기기나 또는 거기에 작동되는 회전기기나 그런 머신에 대한 리스크를 찾아서 인폼을 주고, 또 그 작업자의 위치를 추적을 해서 그 작업자의 위치에 따라서 안전에 관련된 정보를 실시간으로 메시지를 주고, 또 그 사람이 높은 곳에서 작업하든 낮은 지하에서 작업하든, 또는 그가 취급하고 있는 공기구나 또는 그 주변에 있는 생산 제품들, 이러한 모든 상황들을 작업자 중심으로 실시간으로 해석을 해서 머신러닝을 통해서 과거의 상황과 현재의 상황을 비교 분석해서 그 작업자에게 실시간으로 정보를 제공해 준다. 그렇게 함으로써 그 작업자 자신의 본인뿐만 아니라 그 공장에서 운영하는 운전실에 있는 분들, 또는 거기에 담당 매니저나 또는 EHS 안전관리 보건관리 팀에서 또 통계센터, 심지어는 관련된 경영자들까지도 현재 작업자가 무엇을 어디에서 하고 있는지, 어떤 위험을 배제해서 작업을 하고 있는지, 그에 대한 정보를 어떻게 진행되고 있는지 등에 대해서 전반적으로 거기에 관련된 이해 스테이크홀더, 이해 관계자들이 다 함께 하나의 동일한 안전관리 플랫폼을 이용을 해서 필요한 정보를 공유할 수 있도록 되어 있다. 가장 큰 특징은 새로운 것이 아니라 기존에 활용되고 있는 모든 정보가 사일로식으로, 안전은 안전관리부서, 설비관리는 예지정비로 하게 설비관리부서, 조업은 운전하시는 분들은 생산 관리에 생산 중심, 품질 관리 부서는 품질 중심, 그 각각의 섹션에도 안전이 다 포함되어 있는데 그것이 사일로화된 정보들을 세이프티 4.0라는 플랫폼으로 묶어서 모든 정보를 다 함께 집적해서 그 작업자 개개인별로 안전에 대한 얼랏을 주는 것을 가장 큰 목표로 해서 추진을 하고 있습니다. Next one, please. 혹시 하다가 질문 있으시면 더 자세히 마이크를 켜시고 질문을 해주시면 그 장에 따라서 시작을 하도록 하겠습니다. Please.
Okay, so this is a very simple, straightforward slide. Basically, what we are saying is our connectivity. We are able to connect to all hardware and software out there in the market. So at the moment, we are, for example, we are connecting to drones in the US for our US customer, and the drones are doing autonomous inspection and hazard identification. And then this data is passed on to our platform for analysis. In Singapore, the smart watches, we are using the smart watches to monitor safe practices of workers when they go into confined space and all that. And we're also working with forklifts in Singapore for collision avoidance to make sure that the driver, when he's reversing, he's warned in advance if there's any humans behind to prevent any accidents. Santu?
Yep. 이 통제실에서 또는 개인의 휴대폰을 이용해서 생산 현장의 모든 CCTV 카메라나 또 드론을 이용했던 장이나 주변에서 이동기기로 그 작업자에 취해서 작업을 하고 있다든가 또는 심지어는 스마트워치를 차고 있으면서도 헬멧을 썼는지 안 썼는지 등등 그 작업자에 관련된 모든 기능을 하나의 플랫폼에 집어넣어서 그 작업자의 개인 맞춤형으로 작업의 안전을 할 수 있도록 정보를 제공해주는 플랫폼이다. 이렇게 말씀드릴 수 있고 그 모든 상황이 통계실에서 모니터링이 가능한 또는 쌍방향 통신이 가능한 모습으로 플랫폼이 구성되어 있습니다. Please.
This is our basically what we offer on our platform. The modules, and these are some of the modules that Ziv will demonstrate after my session. So the main modules are control of work, which is permit to work, managing all your contractors on your factory floor or on your refinery floor, from application all the way until approval and closure of the permit. And like I said, we can be integrated with SAP to receive your work orders and then close the entire loop. Health and safety, that is your core EHS, which is we use it for hazard identification, hazard management, and then if some incident happens, how do you manage that incident? That's also possible. Dynamic risk management is our new capability. We have added the AI feature. So with the AI feature, we are able to get our AI algorithm to identify trends. It can be on the equipment side. It also can be on the human side. So then again, this will be briefly mentioned by Ziv. So a quick overview is we can look at the behavior of human beings. Maybe some of their actions, they keep repeating the same actions.
줄 가져가시라고. 네, 저기 우리 AS 때문에 손님들 좀 올 거라. 네, 어머 나눠줘요.
장윤석 씨 마이크 좀 꺼주세요.
또 있어요?
장윤석 씨 마이크 좀 꺼주세요.
Okay.
장 박사님 마이크 좀 꺼주세요.
죄송합니다.
So no problem. So the
I'm sorry.
using behavioral analysis. Asset management is managing of all the equipments for operator rounds. When the operator goes around to do physical inspections, the data can be immediately captured and uploaded to our platform, and you have real-time status of all your equipment. Command center is a single view, which will tell you if you have multiple sites, all the activities that are happening on a daily basis on your site. And this can be two-way communication. You can communicate with the person who made reported the incident or is executing the permit to work. Connected worker, that's our key message. Everything that we show are done is on your mobile and in real time. Critical event is, so like I said, we always want to come before the event, but sometimes things don't go as planned. Unfortunately, an incident happens, a major incident. it can be a process event, and it becomes an emergency or a crisis. So how do you manage it? So we have a module that helps manage that. And best practices, basically we are able to match all the best practices that are practiced in globally by all the various HSE organizations. Is that Hanku?
Yeah. 이번에는 그 세이프티 플랫폼 4.0에 대해서 핵심적인 기능에 대해서 뒤에 데모로 설명을 하겠지만 간단히 설명드리면 가장 핵심적인 기능이 작업장 관리입니다. 작업자들이 외부 작업자들이나 내부 작업자들이 작업 현장에 갈 때 작업 허가서 PTW라고 하지요. 작업 허가서를 쉽게 받을 수 있고 교대 근무했을 때 안전에 관한 정확한 정보를 인수인계를 하는 부분, 또 사람 각각에 가서 인적 사항에 대해서는 ERP 시스템, SAP 같은 시스템을 연결해서 작업자의 신상 정보 관련된 그 작업에 관련된 정보를 쉽게 접촉을 할 수 있습니다. 또한 그 건강과 안전, 헬스와 세이프티 관련해서 보면 작업자들의 사고가 일어날 수 있는 위험성, 또 잠재적인 리스크, 또 니어미스 사례 등을 이용을 해서 생산 현장에서 작업을 할 때 그 사람의 최적의 정보를 줄 수 있도록 해주고, 또 새로운 기능으로 추가된 것이 이제 인공지능을 기반으로 해서 실시간으로 작업자의 현재 위치를 파악을 하고 그 작업자의 현재 위치에서 위험성 있는 요인을 판단해서 작업에 재해가 발생되지 않도록 이 정보를 주는 모습으로 추진을 하는 것이 다이내믹 리스크 매니지먼트 기능이라고 할 수 있습니다. 또 하나는 이제 자산 관리 기능으로 보면 현재 우리가 작업자 주위에서 작업자가 보유하고 있고 또 작업하고 있는 현장에 관련된 기기들에 대한 자산에 대해서 정보를 얻어서 작업자가 어느 위치에 가든 간에 필요한 정보를 쉽게 얻음으로 해서 이동되는 자산이나 고정자산, 특히 또 사람과 기계 간의 협업을 통해서 안전을 지킬 수 있도록 정보를 실시간으로 제공을 해주고 있습니다. 또한 이런 것들이 안전 관련 통제센터에서 시각적으로 하나의 싱글 뷰로, 다양한 뷰로 보는 게 아니라 하나의 싱글 뷰로 실시간으로 작업자의 위치와 시각화돼서 그 사람의 안전에 대해서 완벽하게 재해를 줄일 수 있도록 모니터링이 가능하다. 또한 키 메시지로 해서 커넥티드 워커라 해서 작업자와 통제실, 작업자와 매니저, 작업자와 작업자 간에 쉽게 최적의 의사설정을 하고 실시간으로 상호 협업할 수 있는 그러한 커넥티드 워커의 기능을 가지고 있고, 특히 이제 비상 발생 시 어디로 대피를 해야 되고 어떠한 이벤트에 대해서 대응해야 되는지 그 관련된 정보, 즉 크리티컬한 위험한 정보에 대해서 제공을 해준다. 또한 우리가 안전관리 시스템에서 앞에서 말씀드렸지만 130만 개의 유저들이 사용을 함으로써 발생될 수 있는 모범 사례들을 집대성을 해서 그 유사한 사례들이 인공지능을 통해서 그 안전한 작업 현장에 따라서 필요한 정보를 제공해주는 그런 기능도 가지고 있습니다. Next, please.
So this is like what I mentioned earlier, 130,000 users globally. This is a snapshot of all our users at the moment.
죄송하지만 마이크 좀 꺼주시고 말씀해 주세요.
Okay, so 130,000 users, and as you can see, we cover many verticals, and we cover low risk, medium and high risk industries. So for high risk, we have the refineries, the petrochems, the mining companies, and so on. For low and medium risk, we have transportation companies, logistics, even Intel, Semicon, and Shufashal, as you can see, is a chain of retail stores like your 7-Eleven. So they are also using our app to monitor hazards and identify hazards.
마이크 좀 꺼주시면 좋겠습니다. 저기 그 897-040-8604님. 마이크 좀 꺼주세요. Hey, keep going.
Okay, so I'm done. You can translate this if you want to.
앞에서도 설명을 드렸습니다만 고학이 2015년도에 개발돼서 현재까지 13만 명의 유저를 가지고 15개 언어를 하면서 다양한 공장에 납품해서 사용을 하고 있습니다. 리스크가 좀 적은 데는 이런 물류나 이동기기 쪽 이런 부분들에 대해서 물류 흐름 쪽 그런 소비 쪽에 관련된 부분의 회사들 그런 부분의 회사도 많고 또 이제 석유화학이나 정유공장 특히 이제 마이닝 쪽에 장치를 중심으로 하는 뭐 이런 델락이라든가 ICL 이런 석유화학 공장 캐펠 같은 굴착기 만드는 회사들 이런 회사들에게 다양한 분야의 로우 리스크나 하이 리스크 있는 엔드 유저들에게 우리의 고학 시스템이 납품돼서 운영을 하고 있습니다. 감사합니다. Thank you. Next one.
So those were all the users, but I'd like to focus on the 3 biggest users. These are our biggest clients, which out of the 130,000, I think more than 50% of them are from these companies. So ICL is a petrochem in Israel. So they cover chemicals, fertilizers, and mining. So how they deployed our platform is they wanted to start with the core EHS, which is hazard management and hazard identification and management. And they deployed it in Israel. And then once it was a success, then they rolled it out throughout the world. So they have about 30 to 40 sites all over the world. And currently it's being used across all the plants. And as you can see, the major improvements is in the leading indicators. So basically everybody now with a mobile, with an app on their phone, can identify all the hazards that they can see. In the past, no, we didn't have anything like that. So it was all paper and pen. But now, because everybody is real time, the number of hazards that have been reported has increased 240%. And as a result, it makes the whole operation safer. Keppel is in Singapore. Keppel Group, they have identified GoArc as their safety platform, and they have deployed it across all their BUs. So they cover Keppel Offshore Marine, which is their new build for rigs and shipyard for their refurbishment. Keppel Logistics, Keppel Land and Development, they do construction. Keppel Infrastructure, which is all their power plants, and Keppel Data Centers. So as you can see, it's spread over many verticals. And this number you see is mainly for the Keppel Offshore Marine because they're using our platform for in the new builds, Keppel Phelps, for building of new rigs. And they basically wanted to shorten their permit process. I'll go into that later in the next slides. And Delek US. So Delek US, it's a combination of 4 refineries and 4 biodiesel plants. What they did is they basically implemented the entire platform on one refinery, and then they replicated it across all their other refineries. And we cover the entire value chain for Delek. So Delek, from refinery to transportation, to Delek Logistics, how they transport their chemicals and materials across US, and finally their kiosks, Delek petrol kiosks, where they sell the fuel. They also use it. So we cover the entire value chain for Delek. Is that good?
커스터머에 대한 케이스 스타디로 세계적으로 가장 대고객인 세 개 회사에 대해서 설명을 드리겠습니다. ICL이라는 회사는 이스라엘에 있는 회사로 비료 공장, 특수 비료 공장을 생산하는 세계적인 기업입니다. 여기에는 이스라엘 본사에 이 고학이라는 솔루션을 적용을 해서 작업자의 사고를 70% 줄이고 전체적으로 운영 비용을 $1 밀리언 절감했다 해서 지금 현재는 독일 본사, 이스라엘 본사에서 운영을 하다가 지금은 세계 30개 사이트에 ICL 공장이 있는데 여기에 다 확산해서 활용을 하고 있다고 합니다. 또 캐펠이라는 회사는 뭐 여러분 많이 아시죠? 지금 싱가포르에 있는 캐펠이라는 회사는 이게 그 해양 쪽에 그 불작 이런 장치를 설계하고 시공하고 이제 또 수리 업무를 담당하는 큰 글로벌 기업인데, 여기에서는 애주 작업자나 이 들어갈 때 작업자들이 작업 허가서를 쓰는데 상당히 많은 작업 시간이 소요돼서 실제적으로 오전에는 작업 허가서 내는 바람에 작업을 많이 못하는 경우가 발생되는데, 이런 작업 허가 시간을 75%나 디지털화해서 단축했다 하는 사례를 가지고 있고, 전체적으로 회사에서 관리하고 있는 안전지표가 144%나 향상된 그런 성과를 가지고 있습니다. 또한 이 델렉이라는 회사는 이 에너지하고 이제 그 정유 회사를 갖고 있는 그 리파이너리의 에너지 회사인데, 이 회사에서도 PSM에 대한 인디케이션을 해서 한 63% 줄이고, 전체적으로 운영 코스트도 5.4 밀리언 달러를 세이빙하는 그런 효과를 갖고 있는 회사들입니다. 이런 회사들이 자기 본사에 한번 적용을 해서 관련된 기업, 특히 이제 델락 같은 경우는 물류 쪽에 관련된 사업도 많이 하기 때문에 그쪽 밸류 체인에 관련된 쪽에, 특히 이제 로지스틱 쪽에 관련해서 이 세이프티를 적용해서 많은 효과를 보았다. 이 세 개 업체가 전체적으로 가장 큰 효과가 있다고 합니다. 네, next, please.
So this is going a bit deeper into ICL. So like I said, there are 45 plants all over the world, and they are using our platform. And their whole idea was they wanted all their workers in the plant to be connected, and SAP connectivity, and they wanted all of them to have ready access to visuals, to be able to share pictures and videos immediately. And like I said, these are all the savings I mentioned earlier. So the deployment plan is now we have covered hazard identification and management, and the next phase of deployment for ICL is permit to work. So that project is ongoing at the moment. Okay, sorry.
이 ICL이라는 회사는 이스라엘에 있는 회사로 해서 전 세계적으로 445개의 플랜트를 가지고 있고 13,000명의 작업자가 월드와이드하게 퍼져서 일하고 있는 회사인데, 이런 그 세계적인 회사에서 이 고학이라는 안전 플랫폼을 이용해서 조직 전체에 대한 안전에 대한 가시성을 확보하고, 모든 직원들이 HOP 방법론을 익숙해서 사전에 선행적인 안전관리를 통해서 실제적으로 고학을 투자한 효과를 보면 그 작업자들에 대한 유치별로 안전 정보를 적게 제공을 하고, 그에 관련된 모든 자재나 인적 자원이나 이 리소스, 그 사람이 갖고 있는 리소스, 주변의 리소스를 SAP라는 ERP에 들어가 있는 데이터와 연결을 해서 실제적으로 작업자에게 텍스트뿐만 아니라 실제적으로 그림으로 또는 동영상으로 제공을 하짐으로 해서 실제적으로 발생되는 안전사고를 54% 줄이고, 또 이 늦게 출근을 한다든가 또는 결근율도 줄이고, 그 ROI 효과가 생각보다는 많은 효과를 낸 곳이 이 ICL이 되겠습니다. Next, please.
So about Delek, so as you can see, their key challenges were delay of contractors. They couldn't manage the number of contractors, so they're doing about 120 permits per week. Safety gap, they wanted to reduce paper usage. Human gap, people were not following rules when they're doing their work. And of course, the real-time capability, they wanted all that. And because of that, they wanted to close the communication gap. So as a result, in Delek, we have digitalized at the moment 135 different combinations of permits. So because each permit may have combinations of different types of work, in the past, it's one sheet of paper for every work. But with our digitalized system, they can combine permits. So it's 135 different combinations. As a result, 50% of time has already been saved. and most important, accuracy is almost 95, almost 100%. And because of that, during turnaround, they shut down the plant for 2 weeks to do maintenance, and just by managing their contractors more optimally, they are able to save 5.4 million, and that's just on one refinery. So that's a massive savings and success story with Delek.
이 델렉이라는 회사는 정유 공장이나 물류 또는 편의점이나 아스팔트 또는 재생에너지 등 많은 설비를 갖고 있는 다운스트림 쪽에 관련된 에너지 자원 기업입니다. 이 기업에서는 가장 핵심적인 게 두 가지인데, 첫째적으로는 작업자의 허가 시간을 최소화해서 애주 작업자들이 실제 작업에 투입되는 시간을 줄이고, 대기 시간을 줄이고 작업을 빨리 시작할 수 있는, 그렇게 해서 이 페이퍼로 이루어지는 모든 작업 허가가 디지털화돼서 이 모바일 폰을 이용해서 또는 모바일 이용해서 모든 일을 해주고 있다. 그 부분이 가장 큰 하나의 키 핵심이고, 또 하나는 이 작업자와 기계와 이동기기 간에 리얼타임으로 그 상태를 실시간으로 작업자에게 정보를 제공해서 그 사람이 실제적으로 안전한 사고가 발생되지 않도록 선제적으로 대응을 해주는 게 이제 델렉의 하나의 특징이 되겠고, 이거에 대한 고학에 대한 투자 효과로는 현재 아날로그 방식으로도 페이퍼워크식으로 해서 135가지 형태의 작업 허가서를 내는 프로세스를 디지털화해서 델렉 8가지 세이프티 엘리먼트를 해서 8가지의 안전 작업 기준서를 만들고 그에 대한 허가서를 만들어서 실제적으로 작업 허가서를 내주는데 사이클 타임이 50%, 즉 1시간 걸리던 거를 30분 내에 처리할 수 있도록 바꿨다. 그게 가장 큰 특징이 되겠고, 이런 작업 허가서를 내주면서 그 작업자들이 안전에 대한 가이드라인을 얼마만큼 숙지하고 있는지, 또 그에 대한 기준을 잘 지키고 있는지 신뢰도를 평가를 해보면 거의 60에서 95%, 100%까지 신뢰도가 올라갔고, 또 하나는 이제 작업자들이 계획을 수립하고 그 작업자가 실제적으로 얼마만큼 작업이 돼서 그 대기 시간이 얼마만큼 줄었는지, 이걸 보면 그 PTW 즉 작업 허가서를 넣는데 필요한 대기 시간을 20% 이상 절감하면서 효과를 가지고 있습니다. Okay, please.
The last one is Keppel. So, like I said, Keppel identified us as the platform. They wanted a safe, connected worker environment for them, and currently they had a long and complex permit to work process, and they want to do a global implementation. So with Keppel, like I said, the greatest savings were with their new built yard. So what used to be a every morning 2-hour process, whereby the supervisor will shout out the permits to all the workers. Now, with the use of the permit to work system that we have, it's only a 20-minute process, and the workers also are able to visualize on the touchscreen or the where their work is going to be done, whether the area around the work is safe, and advise their supervisors whether they are safe, happy to do the work at that location. So as a result of reducing from 2-hour 20-minute process, these are just the savings from Keppel. 75% reduction in PSM incidents, again, huge increase in leading indicators, and of course, just by managing their contractors better, 600K savings. And this is just permit to work. We haven't looked at all the other modules that they have implemented. Mr. Hanku.
Yeah, previous page, please. 이 카펠이라는 회사는 이제 글로벌에서 보면 해양 장비를 설계하고 또 자산에 대해서 인프라를 구축하는 아주 글로벌 리더인데, 싱가포르에 분사를 두면서 이제 3만여 명이 이제 근무를 하고 있는데, 이번에 이제 이 기업이 세이프티 4.0라는 솔루션을 도입을 해서 안전과 작업자의 간의 정보 연결을 통해서 길고 또 대기 시간이 많이 걸렸던 작업 허가서를 신속하게 내주고, 또 물류 흐름상에서 사람과 또 설비와 설비 간의 충돌을 하는 것을 방지하는 시스템을 도입을 해서 전 세계적으로 3만 명 중에서 이제 반인 15,000명이 이 고학 시스템을 활용을 하고 있습니다. Next, please. 그래서 여기에서 가장 핵심적인 카펠에서 준 거는 퍼미트 워크에서 작업 허가서를 어떻게 빨리 내주느냐. 그래서 작업자가 들어와서 빠른 시간 내에 안전에 대한 준수를 숙지를 하고 생산 현장에 투입해서 작업 시간을 많이 할 수 있도록 해주는 그런 키 포인트를 이 회사는 가지고 있습니다. 따라서 이 회사가 이 시각적으로 작업자의 위치에 따라서 안전한 정보를 제공해 줌으로 해서 또 디지털화된 다양한 작업 허가서를 만들어서 하나의 그 작업 허가서로 해서 현재 지금까지는 외부 사람들이 들어와서 작업을 하는데 종이를 써서 했을 때 한 2시간 정도 소요됐다고 합니다. 근데 그거를 이제 20분으로 전자문서화해서 작업자와 작업자 간 또는 작업자와 설비 간의 어떤 충돌을 방지할 수 있는 안전한 가이드를 통해서 전체적으로 이 회사의 퍼미트 워크로 해서 작업 허가서를 내므로 해서 도입된 효과를 보면 실제적으로 안전사고를 75% 줄이고 이 작업의 프로세스, 허가 내지는 프로세스를 단축시킴으로 해서 2시간에서 20분으로 단축시킴으로 해서 600K의 600K 아니 60만 달러의 경제적인 가치를 얻었다. 이렇게 말씀드릴 수 있습니다. Next, please.
Okay, this will be my last slide so that I can hand over to Ziv and he has enough time to do the demo. So the last module is the emergency module. Like I said, in the event something bad happens and we need to manage the emergency at the plant. So with this module, usually when you have emergency services, your fire brigade, your ambulance authorities all coming into the plant to control the situation, where you have media, the news reporting live on all the events that are going on. When you have all this, this is where this module comes into play. You'll be able to manage what the media is saying, you'll be able to see what the media is saying, you'll be able to monitor the type of materials involved, how many casualties they were. On the map, you'll be able to see the exact location of the event. You can communicate with the people on the ground. You'll be able to see which employee is close to the event. You can communicate with the person to understand the latest events. And all this is done via your mobile. And as you can see, even your smartwatch, which Ziv will talk about later. So yeah, this is it. Mr. Hanku, you can finish and then I'll hand over to Ziv to do the demo.
Okay. 네, 마지막 장에 대해서는 이제 이 이머전시 모듈에 대해서 설명을 드리면 실제 작업 현장에서 스마트워치나 모바일 폰을 이용해서 그 사람의 위치를 추적해서 어느 작업장에서 어느 사람들이 얼마만큼의 작업을 하고 있는지를 안전 통제실에서 실시간으로 모니터링을 해서 생산 현장의 작업자에 대한 안전에 관련된 실시간 정보도 주고 그 사람들이 안전한 작업을 하고 있는지 실제적으로 통제센터에서 모니터링해서 쌍방 간에 서로 필요로 한 커뮤니케이션을 통해서 이런 위험을 사전에 방지하고 작업자가 위험한 행동을 했을 때 스마트워치나 모바일 통해서 경고를 줘서 작업자가 안전한 상태로 가고 특히 이제 비상 상태가 발생할 경우 어느 위치로 이동을 하게끔 가이드까지 해주는 그런 모습을 해서 이 고학이라는 하나의 세이프티 4포인트 플랫폼 기반으로 해서 통합돼서 작업자와 생산 현장의 기계와 통제실의 관리자와 상호 쌍방의 통신을 통해서 이루어지고 있다. 이런 것들이 모두가 다 모바일 폰을 이용해서 모바일 스마트워치 같은 걸 이용해서 수행을 하고 있다. 이렇게 말씀드릴 수 있습니다. Thank you.
Okay, Ziv, I'll stop and I'll hand over to you.
이것으로 프레젠테이션을 마치고 우리 집께서 우리 데모 고학 플랫폼을 이용해서 하는 데모 프로그램에 대해서 좀 간단하게 쇼를 하도록 하겠습니다.
Okay, thank you very much. I will share my screen. Okay. You see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. So, hello everybody. Thank you very much for this meeting. In the previous hour that is left, I will present to you our platform. In a high level, I will try to cover as much topics, as much modules as possible. What you see here in front of you, this is my my mobile phone. I will use it during the demo. So I will I'm casting it to the screen so we can see. So first of all, as you can see, I already have the GoArc app running on my phone. Basically, each one of the employees of the organization has a user. You can see this, my user is called David Rowe. I belong to the GoArc company. Changing a language, as Raj mentioned, today we support 15 different languages. Changing a language, if needed, it is very easy. By a click of a button, you can click language. Once we will install in Korea, we'll also have a Korean language included here, so it is very easy to change language. Basically, each one of the operators has his user, and he becomes like a safety sensor. He can receive information. He can send us information about safety, about operations, about many different topics that you will see during this demo. The first topic I would like to talk about is incident management. Imagine a situation that you have an employee walking around your site, and he identifies a hazard. In the old world, with pen and paper, you need to call the safety manager to come down to record the problem. You waste a lot of time. Today with GoArc, it is a very easy and fast process. I open the application, I select safety report. There are a lot of types of safety reports I can report on. By the way, all of this is configurable. Each customer can decide what reports he wants to have. Let's say I want to report on a safety hazard. I select safety hazard. First of all, I will take an image of the hazard that I found, so it will be clear for my manager to understand where is the problem. This is the hazard that I found. So I take an image. I can also put annotation on the image itself, so my manager will be more easy to my manager to understand where the problem is. So I show my manager, this is the problem right here. I can write a description. What is the problem that I found? So I will just do something fast. Broken ladder. I can then say, what is the severity of this? Now, I can say it is normal or low, high, critical. Later on, my manager can change the severity to a different severity. Maybe I don't have the knowledge to understand the severity, so my manager can later on change it. I can also select a subject, and this is not a default list of subjects. Each customer has its own list of subjects that he can select. This is very important to select a subject, because you will see later on that we provide very accurate analytics from the list of subjects. So let's say this is regarding environmental, and I can select more than one subject, of course. I can then select what is the company that it belongs to, what is the hierarchy. The GoArc platform is built out of hierarchies. For example, my main company is called GoArc. GoArc is built out of terminal site, logistics site, refinery. And even if I go, for example, in the refinery, I can build it into additional sub-companies and so on and so on. So you can design your platform exactly like your organization. Let's say this is in zone number 2 for the example. And the last thing I can select, I can share my GPS location and share the location where I found the hazard. Now this is where I am, but maybe I'm in an area with no connectivity. So I can also select it on the map. I am right now in this specific tank, so I can select it manually on the map, and I submit, and that's it. A safety report was successfully created. What happened now in the background is that relevant managers receive push notification. You can decide which managers should get notified because a new safety report was created. So once again, this is fully configurable by each one of the customers. You can receive a notification in the app, a push notification in the app. You can also receive a notification in the email. So all of this is possible. Now, when we look at the manager's point of view, the manager can look in the list of all of the hazards that have arrived. And for example, one type of hazard that you can see here, this is a hazard that is coming from collision prevention. So I can put a sensor on a forklift, and when there is a near miss, as you can see here, I can see the video straight away. Let's put it on a big screen so I can see I have here a near miss in a forklift. So automatically you get an alert in the system. Another type of incident, for example, I can see there is bad connectivity, there is missing fire extinguisher. So there is a lot of reports that were created. Now, one of the important things is the status of the report. So I can see, for example, that this specific report is pending. This means no one is taking care of it. I want to send somebody to take care of this problem. So I can open the hazard. I can, first of all, as I mentioned before, I can say the severity is not high, the severity is critical, so I can change it. I can also add additional subjects if I need. So also this one is possible. And what I will do right now, I will send it to a maintenance employee or to one of my employees to fix this problem. So I will create an action item. I can say when I want it today. I can ask, please fix the problem, or any other description that needed. I can add also relevant information here, but eventually I would like to send it to the employee to fix the problem. So as you can see, I hit on
Ziv, I don't hear you.
Zip, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
먼저 제가 설명을 좀 드리면, 뭐 이제 대부분이 이 데모는 이제 핸드폰에서 이루어지는 모든 기능에 대해서 설명을 지금 하고 있는데, 대부분 뭐 데모는 다 내용을 파악을 하셨으리라고 보고, 특이사항은 이제 이 작업자에게 안전 레포트를 보고, 또 작업자의 레포트를 현장에 가서 보니까 고쳐졌더라, 안 고쳐졌더라, 또는 더 위험한 개소가 있더라, 또 그 작업한 개소를 또 수정도 할 수 있고, 모든 것이 그 작업자의 특성에 맞게끔 컨피그러블 할 수 있는, 즉 그 작업자의 위치와 상태를 에 따라서 메뉴를 선정할 수 있고, 그 메뉴에 따라서 모든 것이 다 함께 이루어질 수 있도록 기능이 구성되어 있습니다. 그래서 중요한 거는 언제든지 모든 정보를 내가 등록할 수 있고, 또 등록된 정보가 잘못되었을 때 그 정보를 수정할 수도 있고, 또 새로운 안전 리포트를 만들어서 발생시킬 수 있고, 또 그거에 따라서 안전에 대한 니어미스들을 자기가 하려고 하는 작업자의 위치에 니어미스 사례들을 보여주고 그 니어미스 사례들이 동영상으로도 니어미스를 찍은 거를 시각적으로 보여줄 수 있도록 해서 실제 작업 현장에 또는 어디에 가서 있든지 간에 그 GPS를 이용해서 위치를 추적하고 그 사람에게 적합한 안전 정보를 제공해 준다는 것이 이 데모의 하나 특징이고, 모든 데모는 그 셀룰러폰을 이용해서 현재 이루어지고 있다. 그래서 지금 아직은 한국말로 번역된 건 없지만 한국의 첫 프로젝트가 진행되면 저희들이 한국말로 번역을 해서 우리나라의 중대재해법에 의해서 발생되는 경영자들의 어려운 사업 운영 부분을 많이 해소할 수 있으리라고 보고 있습니다. 우리나라에서는 많은 IT 기업들이 이 안전 관련해서 정보를 취업하고 이렇게 사업을 많이 하고 있지만 실제적으로 안전을 전문적으로 하는 분들이 아니기 때문에 그 안전부서에서 이 안전을 하기 위해서 어떻게 컨셉 설계를 해서 그걸 구현을 해서 실제 고객 중심의 작업자 중심의 시각에서 모든 일이 이루어질수록 하면 이게 성과가 좋은데, 대부분이 우리나라에서 소프트웨어를 개발을 해서 그 기업 그룹 내에서는 잠시 사용하다가 한계를 느끼는 거죠. 또 우리나라의 소프트웨어들이 대부분 해외로 수출을 하지 못하는 이유 중 하나가 모든 게 자기 회사에 편중된 시스템화되어 있고, 그거에 따라서 그 솔루션이 해외에 나갔을 때 수준 이하의 기능을 발휘해서
안녕하십니까, 동치입니다.
소프트웨어들이 사용을 못하고 있습니다. 네, 박 대표님 왜?
예, 그 통장 번호 좀 보내지.
예? Okay, Jeep, did you hear me? Hello, Jeep.
박항우 대표님, 저 우측 하단에 그 질문 좀 전달 좀 해주시겠습니까?
그게 뭐죠?
이 우측 하단에 참석자분이 하신 질문.
잠깐만요. 질문 들어볼게요. 채팅창 좀
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Okay,
You
yeah,
hear
we
me?
can see you now. Yep, go ahead.
Good. Okay.
So, is some customer have some questions.
Sure.
Please.
So, when you tracking the real-time location tracking by using the GPS, so what kind of GPS do you use? Is it included in the cellular phone GPS you use or another device do you recommend? Yes.
We use the GPS of the phone, but we do not track employees because we do not want to have privacy problems with employee unions. So unless the employee will press on a button and allow me to track him, I cannot track their location.
Oh, I see.
So what Zip is saying is there are some privacy, every country got privacy laws. So if the privacy law say we cannot track, then we won't track. If the privacy law say yes, then we can track. That's basically.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Okay.
작업자의 위치 추적을 하는 거는 셀룰러폰에 있는 GPS를 이용을 하는데 실제적으로 이제 개인정보보호기 때문에 작업자의 위치를 추적을 하지 않지만 작업 현장에 따라서 안전을 위해서 작업자가 내 위치를 추적해서 좋습니다라고 허가를 할 경우에는 셀룰러폰에 있는 GPS 기능을 이용을 해서 작업자의 위치를 추적을 한다고 합니다. Next, please.
Okay. So I was just about to show you that eventually I can say that the problem was fixed. So I can say it's complete. I can provide explanation. So I can say problem fixed, or just I will just do something short, fixed. I hit on save, and that's it. the action item is complete. My manager received notification. And also, if I go to the list, then you can see that right now, the hazard is marked as completed. So it is easy for me to understand that the problem was already fixed and I can continue to manage different items. Any questions about this process of incident reporting?
혹시 지금까지 그 데모를 설명을 드렸는데 관련해서 질문 사항이 있으면 질문을 해주시면 좋겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 이게 클라우드 버전으로 제공됩니까? 아니면 온프레미스로 제공됩니까? 지금 많은 이미지들이 지금 저장되는 것 같은데 굉장히 나중에는 용량에 문제가 좀 생길 것 같은데요. 지금
네네.
어떤 제공이 됩니까?
So my customer asks are you use the cloud computing or on-premise computer? Because there are so many image, video, a lot of storage needed there. So what are you using your GoArc platform under the cloud computing server or on-premise? What kind of are you implement?
We are running on the Azure cloud. We are not an on-premise solution. We are a SaaS solution, so we are on the Azure cloud.
오케이. 이 회사는 아마 마이크로소프트의 애주어에 사스 프로그램으로 제공되고 있고 그 사스 프로그램 상에서 모든 정보를 개인 맞춤형으로 제공을 하고 있다고 합니다. 근데 뭐 사스 애주어지만 뭐 다른 사스 프로그램이니까 뭐 아마존이나 뭐 플랫폼 위에 올라가는 거는 그렇게 어렵지 않게 됩니다.
저희가
네.
SAP 워크오더를 통해서 이제 실작과 커넥션 된다 그랬는데 그 부분에 대해서 어떤 화면에서 좀 되는지 잠깐 보여줄 수 있을까요?
다시 한번 얘기해 주세요. 내가 못 들었는데.
네. SAP에서 워크오더가 내려 이제 실제로 발생이 돼서 실제 작업작업을 진행하는데 그 해당 데모를 좀 못 봐서요.
예.
네, 그거 좀 공유 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
So could you show me the work order from the SAP? So how do you work from the SAP to the work order? Do you have any screen or do you have any?
The next module which Ziv will be showing that. So maybe we can let Ziv do it. Okay, Ziv, go ahead.
Okay. 뒤에 그 부분에 대해서 자세히 설명을 해드린다고 합니다. 네네.
대표님 그 질문 추가 하나 더 그 사회 클라우드 질문 좀 확인 좀 해주십시오.
Another question is that most of company is very important of the security and the leak of the data. So if my customer use the Microsoft or Amazon, some kind of a computer supply provider, so how can we protect the security about our information? So in the personal information like that. So
we can share all the safety standards that we meet. So we have our Chief Information Security Officer. We have a CISO in the company who has gotten all the requirements for data security, and we have that. We can share with you all the documents to show how secure we are.
예, 이 부분은 뭐 기본적으로 사회에서 클라우드 사용할 때 나오는 시소에 대한 안전, 시큐리티 관련된 모든 룰에 따라서 움직이고 그 룰에 따라서 모든 솔루션이 제공돼서 최대한 제공할 수 있는 그 클라우드 컴퓨팅 소프트웨어 회사와 사스 레벨의 안전관리 시스템이 완벽하게 구축되어 있다고 할 수 있습니다. Okay, please.
Okay. The next topic is to show all the dashboards. Eventually, we collect a lot of data and we want to display it in a visual way, in an easy way for the manager to understand where the safety issues are coming. So first of all, what we're able to do, we're able to share on a live map all of the incidents around our site. So if you see, for example, I have this refinery and gas terminal, I can see all of my incidents. Each one of these pins here is representing a different incident. For example, I can press on this one. I can see this is an incident related to piping. I can press on the view details and I can see exactly what is this problem related to. I can see it is already assigned. The problem is that there was a check the flange connection. There was a problem with the flange. It is already assigned to David Robb, the name of the employee. So I can drill down and see all the relevant information from the map itself. And this is real time. So if I have a new incident, it will update automatically on the map. So this gives us a very good indication of the areas where we have a lot of hazards, a lot of incidents. The next is the analytical page. And you can see, first of all, I can decide the range of dates I want to review. So this is fully configurable. You can see, for example, when we look into the safety reports, I can see in each one of the months how many were open, how many were closed. I can see it distributed on a pie chart, and this is an interactive pie chart. This means if I want to see, for example, only the safety reports that are assigned to somebody, but also past due. This means the employee didn't close this safety report. So I can press on this section and the system will drill down and show me only the relevant safety reports. In addition, and as I mentioned before, it is important to select the subject of the safety report, because in this way I can put and provide analytics about the safety report. So for example, I can see that I have 11 incidents related to piping. And once again, I can press on the piping and the system will drill down and show me only the list of piping issues that I have around my site. In the same way, I can drill down and see the reports by the severity, the high severity, normal, critical, low. I can also see how the safety reports are distributed inside my company. So this is the name of my main company. I can press it one time, it will break down. I can see 2 hazards in GoArc, 1 hazard in terminal, and 45 in refinery. I can press on refinery once again, and it will break down to the sub-companies, and I can keep on pressing down until I reach to the last level and see exactly the list of hazards coming from that place. The last thing, and this is very important, is the safety report by the user, because this shows us the engagement of the employees. Which employee is proactive about safety, which employee is reporting on a lot of hazards. So I can see David Robb reported on 26 hazards, Sarah reported on 11, and so on and so on. So this gives us a very good overview about the engagement of our employees. In the same way as safety reports, I can also see the action items, the same analytical overview about all of the action items, and also about activities. Activities can be a permit to work, it can be training, it can be a checklist, inspection, many types of activities that we can do with our system. The last dashboard to focus on right now is the control room. And this is the GoArc control room. And what it gives you basically is an overview about all of the safety requirements around the site. So for example, I can see that in zone number 1 on Thursday, 1 safety report was created. I can press on it one time. I can see there is an AC problem. The image will pop up in a few seconds. I have also the option to press on view the details. And of course, the system will drill down and show me all of the managing of this specific problem. I can see it is already assigned to an employee. So it is very easy to understand where the problem is. As you can see, I can also see the work permits. And this is the next topic we will talk about. All of the PTWs, the digital work permits that are being taken place. So for example, in zone number 3, on Thursday, I had a work permit that started. it is already completed. I can see it was replace micro switch. It was work at height topic. And once again, I can press on the view details and drill down and see all the relevant information about this digital permit. Any questions about the dashboarding?
지금까지 지금 대시보드하고 액티비티에서 이제 현재 진행되고 있는 내용, 또 세이프티 레프티 관련해서 사고 내용을 집어넣어서 사고 내용을 수정해주고 관련 정보, 또 종합적으로 집계내서 해야 될 일, 위클리 작업 스케줄에 따라서 완성된 것과 완성되지 않은 부분들을 구분하는 전체적인 통계 처리 등 설명을 드렸는데, 혹시 이 대시보드나 이 지금까지 한 내용 중에서 질문이 계실까요? Okay, keep going, please.
Okay, just to summarize, one of the last views for dashboarding is that we can connect to Power BI and create very unique dashboards. So for example, we've got a dashboard for hazard recognition, for safety observation, for safety hazards, for action items. And of course, each one of these screens can be drilled down. For example, I want to see only the safety hazards, only the ones that are urgent. So I can press on the urgents and everything will change accordingly and show me only relevant information. We have all of these screens can be fully customized by GoArc and provide customers very, very accurate information about their needs. Another example of a BI dashboard is the PTW, the permit to work, again showing very, very important information for the customer. So the next topic is related to a permit to work, and I will just share my screen again, share my mobile phone again. And what you will see right now, this is an example of a digital permit to work process. And keep in mind that this is just an example. The work permit can be fully customized and built by the customer according to his own requirements. Each customer is managing the permits in a different way. And what GoArc does is providing the customer the option to build it by himself, no hard code involved. What we see right now here, this is an example of a work permit coming from Delek. Delek US is one of our design partners, and I want just to clarify that they gave the permission to show this during demos, so there is no customer confidentiality issues here. We've got their approval to show this. So as you can see, each one of these lines here is called a mission. There is a list of a lot of missions that are required in Delek to perform during a work permit. Now, this permit is not related to any high-risk job. In Delek, they have 8 types of high-risk jobs. For example, hot work, confined space, work at heights, excavation, opening process. So there's a lot of work types that each customer can define. This specific permit is the default permit. It is not related to any type of high-risk job. For example, if I go to approval, you can see that there is only operations supervisor signature required. And by the way, this is in blur. This is not so clear because I have previous steps that I need to complete. I need to complete these 2 steps before I can continue to the next steps. Now, a lot of times, maybe you have a contractor that is coming to perform a job on site, and I want to provide him some training as part of the permit to work process. So Delek included a site training mission, and you can see some explanation about the refinery, about the process introduction, just to give the contractor or the employee some background about where he's going to enter. The next mission is called permit description. And you can see there is a lot of questions that Delek built by themselves. We have 40 types of templates of questions. For example, what is the starting date? So you can simply press on the starting date, and I can say it will start tomorrow at 9 p.m. Okay, so everything can be set here. We have a multiple choice questions you will see later on. By the way, you mentioned about SAP, so you can see that there is also a work order number. This section will be updated automatically from SAP. So you can open the work order in SAP and it will update automatically in the digital permit. But what is more important in this mission is the work type. As I mentioned, in DELEC, they have 8 different types of work types that combine into 135 different combinations. So instead of having a very complicated manual permit, we are able to build the permit automatically as the employee select the work type. So for example, if you have an employee going into a tank, so this is confined space, so he selects confined space, and you can see dynamic routine is now activated. What actually happened now is that we are able to add additional missions for this specific type of job. So as you can see, there is confined space toolbox meeting and also pre-work check for confined space. Now, maybe I'm going into a tank and I also need to perform some welding, some hot work inside the tank. So I need also to select hot work. I can select as much work types as I want, and eventually the system will add only the relevant missions for your selection. So as you can see, the hot work toolbox meeting and the pre-work check for hot work. So basically what this allows is gives the operator only the relevant missions. Imagine before there was this very big paper, A3 paper with a lot of checkbox, a lot of missions, but not all of them were relevant to this specific job that the operator will perform. Today with GoArc, we will give him one work permit with only the relevant details that he needs to fill. In addition to these, to the details, one of the other things we can combine in the work permit is, for example, and since this is in the US, you can see there's OSHA explanation about the confined space. And we are also able to upload, for example, safety training videos. So imagine the employee is on site watching a training, a safety video, and everything is done on site before the job. So this is very, very important to have this capability to combine training together with a PTW with permit. Now, one of the biggest ROI savings when we talk about a permit to work is the saving time. If I need to get my manager approval, I don't need to go with the paper, look for my manager, get his signature. Today, everything is done digitally. So you can see I will open a different work permit. And if I go to task description, you can see this is a fixed crane number 3. It is work at height. I can see all the relevant information that the employee filled. He also filled some pre-work check. I asked him if he can identify the anchoring point. He said yes, but look at this. It's not enough that he said yes. I want to verify that he really identified. So I asked him also to take an image. And in this way, I can understand that this employee is really ready to perform the job. He's really able to identify the points. He's able to do it in a safe way. Eventually, I would like to send it for my manager for approval. So as I mentioned before, there is no need to go physically to the manager. Today, everything is done virtually. So I can select my manager name, Sarah Smith. I will open Sarah Smith application. And this is a demo environment, so there is no push notifications here, but you will be able to see that once I hit on done, the permit is no longer under my account. If I try to go into the permit itself, it tells me that the activity is assigned to another user. Now, what happened here? Sarah Smith just received a push notification. And if she opens the push notification, I will just do it manually. As I mentioned before, this is for demo purposes. You can see the activity is now under Sarah Smith. and she needs to approve. So she can open the permit itself. She can see it is in approval stage, but before she approves, she can just verify what she's going to approve on. So she can review all the relevant information that was captured by the employee, and she can decide if the permit meets her safety criteria. She can say no, and you can see that she needs to put some correction notes and also create corrective action items. On the other hand, if everything is okay and she selects yes, then you can see that the follow-up questions are completely different. So this is a very, very important capability. We are able to change the additional questions according to the answers that the employee gives us. So this is done on the spot. As you can see, as you saw it here, as they answer the question, the permit itself is changing. So eventually she will sign her name. She will also, in this specific example, she will need to provide the date, and eventually she can send it back for execution to the operator in the field. And remember, the operator in the field is called David Robb. This is the operator in the field. Here, my mobile phone here. I can hit on done, and David Robb receives straight away push notification. He can press on the push notification, and the permit itself will open exactly. There is no manual things you need to do. You press on the push notification, and it opens in the correct place. I can see it is already in execution. I just want to verify that I have the approval from my manager, so I can see it's yes, and I got her signature, so I can move on and start my job. So this was just a short example about the PTW process and how we are able to dynamically build the permits as the operator answers the questions. So the form, the permit itself is changing dynamically according to the situation. Maybe it will be a different permit between nighttime and daytime, maybe between winter and summer, maybe between different materials. We are able to take all of these considerations, put it into the permit, and change the permit on the spot. The dynamic routine capability, the ability to change the permit according to the answers that the operator will provide us. Hanku, you want to translate before we move to the next topic?
지금까지 그 작업자의 허가서를 어떻게 디지털화해서 단축을 하고 델렉을 예를 들어서 135개의 타입의 여러 종류의 허가서를 8단계의 델렉 기준에 의해서 작업자가 교육을 받고 그 작업자가 어떤 작업을 하는지 선택해서 그의 선택에 따라서 메뉴가 자동적으로 생성돼 가지고 관련된 작업자의 허가서들을 쉽게 받을 수 있도록 했다는 그런 내용을 설명을 드렸습니다. 혹시 여기에 더 다음 장으로 넘어가기 전에 질문 사항이 있는지요?
대표님, 그 질문 하나 추가 좀 봐주시겠습니까?
잠깐만요.
정리가 참 잘 되어 있는 좋은 말씀 감사합니다.
이제 So we can coverage of the subcontractor or contract and inside the employee. When we working start, we need a toolbox meeting. So this GoArc platform is very systemically and step by step is very good thing. So can we cover the outside contract? Is it only internal employee?
Oh, yeah, Steve, go ahead.
No, the whole idea is that whoever comes to perform a job on site can use this permit to work application. But if he is external employee, like a contractor, he will not have access to all the platform. He will have access only to the permit that I send him. But eventually he will do all of the permit using the GoArc app, so we can have control on the permit, we can analyze it, we can provide additional information about conflicts and also some AI capabilities. So whoever is doing a job on site, it can be my employee or contractor, they will use the GoArc PTW solution.
Okay. 방금 말씀하신 대로 내부 직원이나 외부 작업자들도 다 함께 플랫폼을 활용해서 작업자의 적합한 정보를 스텝 바이 스텝 제공을 해 주도록 되어 있습니다. 오케이.
질문 하나 드려도 되겠습니까?
네네네.
제가 지금 이제 salesforce.com을 좀 써봤는데요. 실은 이제 고학에서 아까 퀘스천 있었지 않습니까? 퀘스천 앤 앤서링 있었는데 그게
예.
이제 로컬 프로세스가 필요할 것 같아요. 이제 저희가 디파인을 해서 그에 대해서 yes이면 이리 가고 no이면 이 프로세스 매 프로세스를 설계를 해야 될 것 같은데 그거에 이제 like Salesforce처럼 그러니까 Salesforce 같은 경우도 프로세스를 설계해서 거기서 다음으로 갈 수 있도록 하는 것처럼 고학도 이렇게 커스터마이즈드 프로세스를 설계할 수 있는지 궁금합니다.
So my customer asked something. You can show me there is a step by step yes or no, and the no is going to another one. So yes is going to another way. So is it selectable by the user or customer by? So if we make some step by step some process, we have to design how to going on, which way go to. Yes or no, according to the following. So is it configurable by the user or not?
Yes, as I mentioned, it is very easy, very easy to do it by the customer. I will just show you an example. For example, if I want to create the workflow, okay, to create the flow of the mission. So I have here this window inside the settings, and you can see that in here I can define the steps where I go from each step according to the answer. Just give it a few seconds to open. So as you can see, I have here a step 1 goes to step 2, and then maybe to step 3 or to step 4 according to my answer, and then from 4 it can go to 5. If I want to create a new step, a new mission, so it is very easy. I just put step 6, for example. I can give it a different color just to get a better understanding where I'm looking on. I can hit on save, and then you can see step 6 is created in a few seconds. And then I can decide that step 6 is, for example, step 6 is coming from step 4. So I can go into the settings, I can add here the new step, step 6, and then I connect step 6 to step 4. So from 4 you can go to 5 or to 6. So all of this, and also, of course, I can also go back to previous steps. For example, if I do work evaluation and I have problems, maybe I want to go back to pre-work, back to toolbox. So maybe from step 6, I want to go back into the beginning of my permit, so step 2. So you just add this option, and you see now it will give the option from step 6 to go to step 2. So this is very easy to create, and each one of the steps, we'll just give it a few seconds. Each one of the steps is also fully configurable by the customer, so they can decide, as I said before, they can decide what will be the content of each one of the steps. I will just open. I don't have it ready. Let's open a different one. So just as an example, I can go to any one of my permits. I can go to the questions, and then if I want to add a new question, you can see we have a lot of templates. All of this is templates for questions. So for example, if I want to have, for example, multiple choice, so I can select multiple choice. I can say, this is the question 1, and then I can add all of the possible answers that I need. For example, this will be A1, this will be A, and I will add an additional question, an additional answer that will be B, and also additional answer that will be C. So now I created a multiple choice question. So it is very, very easy to create also the flow itself and also the content of each one of the missions. This is fully configurable by the customer. There is no hard code at all.
예, 방금 보신 바와 같이 이제 워크플로우에 대해서 스텝 바이 스텝은 8가지 워크플로우에 따라서 사용자들이 원하는 형태의 작업 형태로 해서 from to 또는 뭐 back to the work 이렇게 해가지고 셀렉터블하고 사용자가 언제든지 그 프로세스를 변경할 수 있다는 내용입니다. So I have another question. So in Korean safety regulation, so we cannot use the same platform from the subcontractor or contractor or internal employee. Do not use the same platform because subcontractor worker should be ordered by their manager, not the contractor manager. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
So
yes.
is it the normal rule in your another country or same rule?
No, I think this is mainly giving access rights to the contractor. So the contractor will not have access to your customer data. That's for sure. All we provide them is access to the permit. So before we get a contractor, we have to ensure the contractor is onboarded in the customer system, because when you issue the work order, it has to go to that contractor. Only approved contractors will get the work order to do the permit. So when the contractor gets the permit, he will probably update where he's performing the work, and that's all. It's just that process. He's not getting access to any other data. So in that sense, we are separating subcontractor, external with internal. Of course, any company will not allow external people to have access to the company network. You cannot connect to the company network.
So 방금 말씀하신 대로 이제 같은 플랫폼을 써서 서로 다른 업무의 잡에 대한 영역이 구분되어 있어서 실제적으로 직영과 관리사들이 같은 시스템을 쓴다 하지만 그 정보에 대한 부분들이 커스터마이즈해서 한계를 두고 작업을 하기 때문에 큰 문제가 없다는 내용입니다.
Just an additional, as Raj mentioned, as you can see, when I create a new user, this is the screen to create a new user in the system. I can decide what his role is. Each role will have different permission in the system. For example, an operator can only access the information that I send him. So a contractor, if Adi.gago is contractor, I will put her as operator, and then the only information she can access is the PTW I send her. That's it. She cannot do anything else with the system. Everything is blocked. So in this way, we can control the permission of each one of our employees. Maybe he's operator, maybe low manager, mid-level manager, C-level, executive. Maybe he's company admin that can do all the configuration. So we have a lot of options for this problem.
오케이. 방금 보시는 바와 같이 회사와 그 작업자의 퍼밋 작업 허가서를 내는 위치와 그 해당되는 업무에 대해서만 명확하게 들어갈 수가 있고, 다른 기능하고는 완벽하게 블록화돼서 작업자와 또 애주사와 본사 직원 간에 큰 이슈가 없도록 되어 있다는 거죠. 네네. Okay, keep going.
Okay, the next topic is called asset management. And as you can see here, I've got a site with assets that I defined. When we talk about assets, we talk about operator rounds. And this is daily inspections that need to be done by operators. So I can define in advance all of the checkpoints, all of the assets they need to visit. For each one of the assets, as you can see, I can define, if I press on the view details, I can define what the operator will need to check. For example, he will need to check the equipment status, the pressure, the discharge pressure, and many, many other things that you will need to check. Of course, all of this is done with the app. You will see it later on. For each one of the questions that you need to check, I can configure in advance what will be considered green, what is considered working, what is considered warning, and what is considered critical. So this is the color of each one of the assets. For example, in this asset, this red asset here, the last time that an operator visited, the answer that he provided was in critical range. Now, very, very important to understand, this screen is updated automatically, and you will see it in a few seconds. Now let's go back to the operator now, who needs to go and perform these operator rounds. He needs to visit all of the assets and verify the questions according to the application. So I will just use my mobile phone for that. I will go to the activities. I already have it in my system, the operator round. And you can see a lot of times the operator will need to go very far away from the office, from the main buildings, and eventually the operator will be alone somewhere in my site. I want to be sure that he's safe and capable of doing the job. So before he starts the operator round, I just added, once again, I added a training inside the operator round. So I go to get to know the asset, and you can see that what we added here is actually a 3D scan of the asset. So before the employee visits the asset, he can already look exactly what the asset is looking. Of course, I can walk, and this I'm doing now with my mobile phone. Of course, I can walk inside the asset itself. I can look at the asset. I can understand what each one of the components is doing. For example, if I press on a component, and sorry, it is in Hebrew because it's a customer here in Israel, but you can see that for each one of the components, I can see what it does, and I can see the name of it. After I review the asset and I verify with my manager that I know exactly what I need to do, I can go to the asset and perform the operator round. I'll just answer a few questions. For example, do you have all the required PPE? So I can say I have a hard hat and I have gloves, and I also have the ear defenders, and I will just sign that I understand the asset. And I can continue to the first asset, to the number 12 stripper bottom yields pump. And this is the asset that I'm visiting right now. Now, before I visit the asset, I have the option to require a scan, so I can put a QR code in the asset to verify that the employee is in the correct place. So you can see that I can scan the barcode. The asset is verified. I have a green eye, so I know I'm in the correct asset. And then I can go and simply answer the questions that are required. For example, what is the equipment status? I can say it is off, or I can say it is on. But if it's on, you can see I have additional questions that I need to answer. So for example, what is the suction pressure of the asset? So I can say the suction pressure is 30, and you can see that 30 is inside working range, because straight away I am the operator in the field. I see that the asset is colored in green. So this means there are no problems with the asset itself. The suction pressure is within the working range. I'll just open again the map here and put this automatic refresh option because it was not selected. And then I can move on to the discharge pressure. So I can say the discharge pressure, for example, is not in working range, 191. So you can see straight away, I have a warning message, verify that the pressure gauge is good, and check the level pressure of the stripper tower. And in addition to that, I can see that the color is now yellow. Also, signs of cavitation, I can say there is no signs and everything is okay, or I can say there is signs of cavitation and straight away I see that it is colored in red, so I know that I have issues with my asset. Now, of course, what happens here is that relevant managers receive a notification in real time, of course, receive notification that something is not right with the asset itself. Now, of course, in this way, I can continue and visit all of the additional assets. I can say what is the status of them once again. Is there a packing leakage, yes or no? Another thing we can do, we can say once again, what is the equipment status? If it's on, I'm required for to provide 2 values, but if it's off, you can see that I'm required to take an image and explain what is the reason that this asset is off. So all of this, once again, is fully configurable by the operator and by the customer, and you can define exactly what the operator will need to check in each one of these points. Now, since we are collecting a lot of data, we also have an option to view the details and drill down to each one of the assets. And one of the things we're able to do, we're able to look at the historical data of the asset. And using an AI engine, we are able to provide alerts even when the results are inside the working range. But if something is not behaving right in the results, if the results are starting to trend to one area, if the results that the operator is giving me are identical every day, all of this, I will get automatic alerts from the AI engine. Any questions about asset management?
방금 이제 설비 관리 측면에서 안전을 어떻게 활용하는지 셀룰러 폰을 이용하고 통제실에 있는 데이터하고 연결을 해서 실제적으로 설비가 상태가 운영되고 있는 상태에 대해서 카메라, 핸드폰을 이용해서 정확한 자기 위치에 대한 상황을 모니터링할 수 있고, 필요한 경우는 그 설비에 대한 히스토리컬 데이터도 볼 수 있고, 그에 대한 모든 관리들이 이제 설비의 가동 상태라든가 위험 상태 등을 모니터링하고 점검하고 인식할 수 있는 그런 솔루션도 함께 제공이 됩니다. 질문 있으신가요?
네, 하나 더 질문 드리겠습니다.
네.
지금 어셋 매니지먼트 보니까 보통 이제 우리 한국 회사는 MES라든가 샤프러 컨트롤 시스템이 있죠. 그래서 거기에서도 자산 관리라든가 설비 관리를 같이 이루어지고 있는데 혹시 그 관련돼서 데이터를 주고받기 위해서 지금 커넥션하는 방법이 API 커넥션을 이용하시는지 아니면 다른 커넥션 방법을 이용하는지 궁금합니다.
So if you go to the factory, there are so many PLC, TCA system, POP system, MES system, a lot of things. So there are so many real data in there and saved historical data in there. So how can your platform connect to the existing legacy system by using the API application program interface or other special thing? So do you have anything?
Yes, exactly what you said. You are absolutely right. I can connect with API to the PI system, to the historical system of the customer, to his sensor. I can upload his historical data to GoArc and run the AI engine of GoArc on his data. So this is something we are already doing today. By the way, in DeleQS, we are connected to their historical system. Everything is displayed in GoArc. Alerts are coming from their system into GoArc. So this is something we are already doing today. So
you use the API for each system.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, it's upload to your necessary safety data in your platform, and then you can show the real-time all of historical data.
Yeah.
Okay. 이분이 설명하는 것은 모든 기존에 있는 레가시 시스템들하고 같이 API를 통해서 필요한 데이터를 플랫폼에 업로드를 시켜주고 그 업로드된 거를 가지고 작업자들에게 모니터링을 할 수 있도록 해준답니다. 지금 API를 쓰시는 것 같네요. 네네. 시스템마다 다 다르니까 통신이. 네네. 오케이. 또 다른 질문 있으신가요?
이거는 조금 더 넥스트 스텝인데요. 혹시 POC라던가 회사의 지금 이제 관련자들한테 제품 데모나 이런 것들을 따로 진행할 수 있는지 궁금합니다.
지금 현재는 이스라엘 여기가 싱가포르하고 이스라엘하고 연결되기 때문에 지금 이스라엘은 4시면은 오후 4시면은 지금 한 8시 정도 됐거든요. 직접 아직 우리 쪽에서 설명을 데모를 해도 되고 실제적으로 이제 이 사람들하고 싱가포르하고 연결해서 그 회사에 직접 연결해 가지고 온라인으로 가능합니다.
예, 특정 요 세미나 이후에 특정 업체를 대상으로 한 1:1 온디맨드 웨비나도 저희가 지원을 해 드릴 수가 있습니다.
네.
마지막으로 제 머릿속에서 계속 떠나지 않는 퀘스천이 하나 있는데요. 제가 이제 AWS라든가 애저를 보면은 굉장히 그런 계속적으로 비용이 어떤 데이터가 축적됨에 따라서 어떤 이미지 데이터라든가 또는 API에 대해서 히스토리컬 데이터를 이제 업로딩하면서 데이터가 계속 축적됨에 따라서 이 관련된 스토리지 비용이 계속 걱정이 되거든요. 만약에 위해서 어떤 스토리지는 뭐 서버 우리 자체 서버에다 두고 그다음에 어플리케이션 서버만 또는 데이터베이스 서버만 애저나 AWS를 이용할 수 있는 방법이 혹시 있을까요?
My customer asked worry about the expense of the using the cloud service. So normally thinking that the clouding computing system usage is have to pay the monthly, so it is very expensive rather than on-premise. So if we use your platform, there are so many feature and video, and then there are so many transactions from factory side to the platform. So if they reduce the expense of the cloud computing resource, and it is possible to have a storage system in the local and on-premise, and the application software only by Azure platform. So can you separate by the system?
Okay, so I think there are two questions here. The first thing is the amount of data and the cost of the platform. Well, like I showed in the beginning, we have 130,000 users. So the cost of the platform is spread over all the users. It's not given to each customer because you are only taking a part of the cloud for your analysis. The second question about having an on-premise system and doing the analysis in the cloud, it's possible, but then it takes away the whole connected worker intention, the objective of a connected worker, because if you have if you only come up to the server or the cloud to do analysis, the real-time effect is no longer there, because you still have to depend on your server on premise. It has to go back, and then there's always this time lag. And then the other thing is you're talking about multiple modules. You're going to have a lot of people using it and sending information up and down. How powerful is your server going to be? So then you have to invest on multiple servers, and as your operation gets bigger, your server also get bigger, and that's additional cost. Your IT department will have to invest in hardware, and then the hardware will have to be maintained. So all these are additional costs. When you put all the costs together and then you compare against a SaaS solution, you can see the savings. So I mean, we always tell our customer, you need to look at the total cost of ownership, TCO. So you measure a 5-year subscription of a SaaS solution versus a 5-year operation of an on-premise system, and then you can see the difference. Your upgrades are all provided. SaaS solution, you don't have to pay for upgrades. It's all covered by GoArc. Your application will always be the most up-to-date. If it's on-premise, you will have to do work on your server, implementation and all that. And that also takes time.
So 일반적인 이제 그 클라우드 컴퓨팅 시스템에 관련돼서 그 비용 문제가 상당히 워리어부터 하고 있는데 실제적으로 고학의 플랫폼을 쓰게 되면 다양한 많은 유저들이 사용을 하면서 이제 경제적으로 활용할 수 있다는 장점이 있고 방금 말씀하신 대로 이제 온프레미스와 클라우드를 병행해서 사용할 수 있지만 결국은 토탈 코스트 오브 오너십 TCO 측면에서 본다면 자체 전산실에서 구축해서 운영하는 비용 대비 클라우드에서 운영하는 비용이 토탈 코스트 오브 오너십 측면에서는 훨씬 더 경제적이다 이렇게 볼 수 있습니다.
네, 감사합니다.
원하시는 대로 시스템 구축할 수 있는데 실제적으로 우리가 이제 자체 전산실을 구축하게 되면 거기에 대한 보안 솔루션도 설치해야 되고 또 하드웨어가 5년마다 주기적으로 교체해야 되고 또 이 유지보수 인력이 IT 전문 인력이 있어서 하드웨어나 전산실을 운영해야 되고 전산실 24시간 운영되고 또 최근에는 이제 전산실의 운영이 그 탄소 배출 제로 문제 때문에 상당히 심각하게 글로벌 시장에서 IT가 지금 움직이고 있어요. 그 이유는 각자의 전산실에서 24시간 운영을 하다 보니까 전력을 많이 소용함으로 해서 실제적으로 생산돼서 쓰는 전기보다는 24시간 컴퓨터 가동하면서 쓰려드는 조용이 많아서 탄소 배출권이 제로를 위해서는 기존에 있는 데이터 센터를 전부 다 클라우드 데이터 센터로 올리게 되면 클라우드 데이터 센터를 크게 짓게 되면 거기에 탄소 배출을 주기 위해서 이제 열을 냉각시키면서 그 냉각된 열을 이용해서 물을 데펴서 지역 난방에 쓰면서 이렇게 재활용하는 그런 데이터 센터를 운영하고 하기 때문에 앞으로 그 각 기업에서 그 탄소 저류를 위해서는 데이터 센터를 공용의 데이터 센터를 임대해서 쓰는 게 좋다. 그렇게 함으로써 거기에서 탄소 배출량을 줄이기 위해서 다양한 냉난방 열을 활용해 새로운 걸 활용할 수 있기 때문에 단독에서 할 수 없는 그런 탄소 배출권도 줄일 수 있기 때문에 클라우드로 가는 게 저는 그게 맞다고 생각이 되네요.
여기서 좀 고민을 해봐야 되는 거죠. 실은
예.
우리가 이제 SAP라든가 또는 이제 데이터 중심의 어떤 이런 것들은 굉장히 그 데이터의 트랜잭션이라든가 이 사이즈가 굉장히 작습니다. 비교적으로.
그렇죠.
이제 가장 여기서 지금 핵심 포인트는 저도 클라우드 가는 것은 뭐 동의하고요. 다만 핵심 포인트는 지금 비디오 클립과 또는 이 이미지에 대한 사이즈입니다. 지금 저희도 지금 그 EHS 시스템은 아니지만 나름대로 이제 사진을 찍어서 어떤 그 인시던트 리포트를 하고 있고 또 이런 관련 거를 협력업체 이런 관리를 하고 있는데 지금 IT적으로 봤을 때는 지금 그 사이즈가 점점 휴대폰으로 사진을 찍는다든가 비디오 클립의 사이즈가 점점 커지고 있거든요. 그래서 이거에 대해서 지금 저도 일반적으로는 일반 ERP를 도입한다 그러면 당연히 클라우드를 당연히 선택을 하죠. 근데 이거에 대해서는 어떤 이런 사이즈 문제가 터무니없이 커지기 때문에 이 사이즈가 또 크면 트랜잭션 코스트도 또 커져요. 이 네트워크 트랜잭션.
그렇죠.
예. 그래서 이걸 과연 이것을 트랜잭션 코스트와 또 스토리지 코스트라든가 또 나중에 백업 문제도 생깁니다. 이 백업 스토리지라든가 또는 또 나중에 보면은 이제 QA 서버, 라이브 서버 뭐 여러 가지 서버들과의도 연동이 있어서 결과적으로는 데이터 영역, 일반적인 메인 코어 데이터 영역은 오케이. 괜찮습니다. 그런데 이런 이제 부가적인 이미지라든가 비디오 클립이라든가 이 사이즈가 큰 이 부가적인 이 데이터 영역에 대해서는 고민이 있거든요. 그래서 아직은 저는 아직은 모르겠습니다. 아까 탄소 배출권 동의합니다. 우리 하고요. 다만 조금 더 이런 디퍼런시에이션이 좀 있었으면 하는 바람입니다.
예, 지금 may I ask my customers thinking about the cloud computing systems? So he will be good, but we use the text data on the cloud computer system. Is it used economically? But if we have take a photo or movie by using the cellular phones, there are a lot of big size of the data. So we send to the cloud. There are transaction a lot. We have to pay a lot of transaction fee by image or video clips. So how do you have some compare benchmarking data by using the their own data center or cloud and computer systems? Do you have some idea of what difference?
We can check and see if we can provide some sort of comparison so that we have an idea, because at the moment all the customers that we are working with, they are using the cloud to share data and all that. So this was not a concern, but yeah, I can check to see if we can provide some information.
Okay.
오케이, 대표님 이제
네.
저기 예정된 2시간이 거의 다들 그래서 오늘 그 많은 업체분들이 대한민국 대표 정유 오일 뭐 플랜트 제철 등등 많은 업체들이 참석해 주셔서 감사드리고요. 오늘 저희가 한정된 시간에 충분히 설명을 못 드리게 돼서 대단히 죄송하고요. 향후에는 개별 업체가 상세하게 아니면 어떤 특정 업종의 어떤 특성에 맞게 정보를 저희가 준비해서 저희가 온 디맨드 형태로 원하시는 날짜에 어떻게 추가 미팅이라든지 자료를 제공해 드릴 수가 있고요. 아무쪼록 오늘 이 정보를 통해서 회사 내 어떤 안전관리 시스템을 구축하거나 어떤 정보 수집에 조금이나마 도움이 됐으면 좋겠습니다. 예, 박항구 대표님께서 총괄적으로 마무리하고 좀 인사말 부탁드리겠습니다.
그 관련된 그 방금 질문하신 내용에 대해서 한번 나오님께서 질문하신 내용에 대해서 자기들이 한번 그 많은 유저들이 클라우드 컴퓨터사에서 그런 걸 큰 신경을 안 썼는데 그런 어떤 새로운 방안이나 벤치마킹할 자료가 있으면 정리해서 보내드리도록 하겠습니다.
그리고 특히 오늘 질문 가장 많이 해주신 나월 팀장님께는 혹시라도 만나게 되면 커피 쿠폰 한 장 드리겠습니다.
Okay.
제일 싼 걸로요.
It is time's up. So my customer is very interesting about your GoArc platform. So we want to make some visitor or some online seminar for some customers. So if we have some arranges, if I need you. So today is very
we can arrange for a customer to speak to you guys.
Okay. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. And we make a good project. And 커스터머 여러분도 건강하시고 코로나19를 잘 이겨내 주시기를 부탁드리면서 감사 인사드립니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
조만간 좋은 기회로 또 뵙겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네,
그럼,
감사합니다.
그럼 저희 고아크 그 데모 웨비나 오늘 그 세션을 닫도록 하겠습니다. 좋은 하루 되십시오. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye.